Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is September 13th, 2023, and we have another banner night on our hands here. But before we get into our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into stuff, we have Silver Week going on right now as a campaign event for GBO2. Basically, we still have the free once-a-day supply drop, so starting only during Silver Week. It also includes 4 stars, so suits, so it's really neat. Definitely, if you haven't gotten everything yet, or the suit that you want, you still have a chance for a total of 14. So definitely keep that in mind. We also do have another promotion because of the Silver Week. They do have a special mobile suit enhancement step up promotion, which can give you mechanic tickets if you do all the 4 steps. First step is the bronze mechanic tickets. Everybody has those, plus a 10 pull discount. So might be worthwhile. Hard to say. Great if you have what you want. You want more tuning stuff, but you know, it's there. That's what's going on. On top of that, during the Silver Week promotion, we do have a limited time with powered up hangers. So I actually got a dupe on tonight's banner suit, so that thing's full tuned already. But on a great success, you have 3 times the chance and 3 times the enhanced values for duplicate mobile suits, which basically what happened to me. So I know a lot of you guys may have been speculating beforehand in the past, but it's finally here. We'll get into the details shortly, but the Bull-G from Thunderbolt is finally here. On top of that, there is a special limited supply drop for the Atlas level 2, which brings it into 650, plus subsequent weapons like its railgun and beam saber. So if you gotta have that at 650, or you're just genuinely curious and want to see how it holds up in 650, this is your chance. On top of that, we do have some changes coming into the recycle ticket counter. The Bylert is sold. Level 1, level 2, I believe that is 600, might be 650 as well. Either way, it is now available in the recycle ticket counter. So if you want to add that, definitely look into that as well. DP exchange counter changes as follows. We have now the Ifrit Schneid level 3. I believe this is the 650 version. So if you liked how it performs, I know a lot of folks like running the kunais. It's pretty nasty fighting this thing and fighting with it. Definitely gotta have it. So on to our banner suit. Alright folks, so here we are with the Bull-G. It's a 3-star general unit that's usable in ground and space, coming in at 550. Just kind of read verbatim here. It is a prototype mobile suit created by Anaheim Electronics post 1-year war, and it's a strong contender to become the next generation mainline mobile suit. It's a heavy arms type mobile suit with a high output of a full armored Gundam. Designed as a prototype of an improved gun cannon 2, and design was using a spec without any extension, only changed the appearance of with a Gundam head, which is criticized by Lunatu's leader, which probably is like the base or whatever. But the high spec makes Bull-G, I guess it's supposed to be short for Bull Gundam, I don't know, having a few seconds advantage even facing the mobile suit with pilot Daryl Lorenz, which shows its high capability and potential, and it can be, as I said, usable on ground and space. It does have a unique skill called Sub-Arm Special Cushioning, which reduces damage taken when sub-arm weapons are hit and reduces stagger from cumulative damage because it's so big. I'm assuming it's the shields, maybe the gun, hard to say. We'll find out when we're in the field. It also reduces hit reaction from a level of damage except tackle attacks and downswings, basically. If you are wanting to get this 3-star unique suit, we do have the normal suit for the Federation. I'm totally forgetting the pilot's name. It'll come to me at some point, but either way, the helmet and the regular normal suit looks pretty cool from here. Honestly, I like the aesthetics. Like, you could tell it looks Federation looking, but it's got that Thunderbolt feel to it. So definitely, if you gotta have it, this is your chance. So on to the nitty-gritty of our brand new mobile suit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with our brand new Bull-G. Of course, mine is got the first 4 steps up, so we're gonna go right to it. 19k health with 28s on both beam and ballistic, and 15 for melee resistance. In terms of damage output, range, and melee wise, we're looking at about roughly even numbers there. This is a heavy unit, so we're looking at a much slower speed than most other generals, mostly running 125s to 130s. This is running 115, so it's definitely something that you're going to have to take notice of and plan accordingly with. On top of that, it does have extra thrusters, which bump it up to 210. I would say it might be on the slower side of things or on par, hard to say, but when there's a will, there's a way. On top of that, though, I know I'm saying on top of that, it actually has a pretty good healthy amount of thrust, so it definitely works around, definitely gives you room to work around with, especially with once we get to the shopping list of skills. Average turning speed 66. I think my Hazel custom's around the same ballpark range, so shouldn't be too bad, but because it is a bulkier unit, that can pose a problem. I could see some folks throwing in some field motors to turn faster or some other means if you have those parts available, but 12, 24, and 4 respectively. Mine is obviously got some tuning, so we have the complex expansion slot there. But going into the weapon list of things, we do have a specific hyper bazooka that the Bull-G, I don't want to call it G-Bull because of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, but the Bull-G, and it's the only bazooka or the primary that you can use. 2300 power, 5 shots, 300 meters effective range with a 5.5 second cooldown time and 15-second reload. This is actually a lot faster than I think some of the other Federation-based bazookas right now, if we're talking about the modified hyper bazooka, the OG, and maybe even the stuff for the Mark II and moving forward. So that's actually not too bad. Doesn't seem overpowered, but it seems fair, and I would say reflected in the gameplay considering the 300 meter limitation. Beam saber wise, we're looking at 2250 with a 2.5 second cooldown time. Cooldown time is pretty standard. 2250 does seem pretty fair, considering the stats that we get for it, though that may change as people start throwing this thing together. First sub-weapon that we get is a twin beam rifle. Now this is a 2-shot burst weapon, not a single shot. It does come out really quickly with a 1 second cooldown time, so this actually has some pretty decent midline range. You're probably going to be juggling this amongst the other weapons that we'll go over shortly, with a 13-second overheat cooldown time. So this is actually it'd be pretty annoying for the most part, and it actually does build stun. I think it breaks MA1 on 2 bursts. So you have enough time to do 2 bursts without overheating it. You do overheat on the 3rd burst. So something to be mindful of. And you can fire that on the move, by the way. This is also fired on the move, and you basically have a little arm carrying the Grandpa Gundam beam rifle here, or looks like a replica, hard to say, you know, it's just the way it looks. Either way, 1800 power, 80% heat rate, so can't fire this super fast. Same effective range as the twin beam rifle, 4 second cooldown time, 18-second overheat, and as I mentioned before, can be fired on the move. Now, going into the lovely missile launchers here, we're swapping by really quickly. This one is one that throws me off because this is a stop-to-fire weapon. It does fire multiple missiles. I haven't tried firing it once at a time, or if it allows you to fire it one at a time. Either way, this does have some decent stun build, but it does kind of spread a little bit similar to the full armored Gundam little shotgun missile weapon that it has. 13-second reload time, and this actually has a little more effective range too, so this is probably great to fire behind cover or low cover and fire against enemies that are behind cover. But we'll see how this comes into practical use outside of maybe just following up on somebody. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Followed by the alternate projectile that this uses. So this one fires a lower powered projectile. I believe this is one at a time. I could be wrong on this again too. Shorter range, no cooldown time period as well, and a slightly longer reload time. This specific one detonates on impact and it staggers foes caught in the explosion. Also reduces target mobility temporarily, so this is kind of like almost a play on the lime sub-weapon that the Mark II and the Rick DS have in a way. But yeah, hard to say how this is gonna work out, because again, this is commit stance for both of these weapons, and they do kind of have a weird arc as well. But I don't know, we'll see. I know bread and butter wise, it's probably gonna be these three and the melee, should the opportunity present itself, because we're going on to the shopping list of skills. Now, going down the line here, you got some pretty normal stuff. This is funny that this is like the first thing on the list. So you have anti-blast stabilizer, and considering that it doesn't have a lot of melee resistance, it's going to be kind of weird that, you know, with the lower melee resistance that's going to be going in. But I don't know, we'll keep going. Has flight control, so yeah, you can play some really aggressive stuff with this, plus glide, quick boost as well. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see in the field, because obviously it has balancers. I can't see a general not having balancers. Ambok level 2. So in space, this does have a little more of an advantage. MA1. So this is also pretty good. It's almost pretty much par on the course at this point. Force Injector 2. Melee combo controller level 1. So this is a it's got a weird horizontal slash for its neutral, and then a stab, which has a weird I call it a weird hitbox, because obviously some prone targets, if you're too close, it misses it, but when you're further away, it does angle a little bit lower to the ground, so you kind of want to keep mindful of that. High performance radar level 2. And this has anti-jamming, so this is pretty neat to deal with a lot of the stealth suits at 550. I'm looking at you, Conroy. Well, not jamming, sorry, the Ifrits and some of the other stuff that's out there, but I thought this was anti-stealth, sorry. On top of that, this has damage control level 1, and kind of rightfully so with how big this thing is. You do have special back buffers, which reduce damage by 30%. Leg buffer 2s, that's even crazier. This is going to be kind of on the same boat as the DJ from back in the day, just with a lot more toys. And then you have the special arm cushioning that was mentioned in our little introduction of the Bull-G, which reduces damage taken by 40% when sub-arms are hit, and it lowers reaction from non-tackle base damage that deal 1500 or less. So especially if you're having to fight the support and he decides he wants to counter you and you're baiting him, well, it's going to be interesting, to say the least, on that one. And that's for the shields too. Reduces stagger from cumulative damage. So yeah, this is going to be pretty crazy, to say the least. Can't wait to take this out. Alright, folks, that concludes tonight's recap of our brand new Bull-G, tonight's banner suit. If you guys enjoyed what you saw here, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely helps out the algorithm of things. Let me know what your comments are, if you got lucky and pulled for this suit, or if you just skipped it, wasn't your cup of tea, that's totally okay. And maybe if you encountered it, I'd like to hear what you have to say. Anyways, that's it for now. I will see you all on the next video. Take care.